His raw and powerful creations don't just involve a dancer's body, but brings in their emotions, their individual energies, and their life experiences too. Hofesh Shechter's acclaimed choreography touches audiences in a unique way. His talent's been deployed in theatrical, film and ballet performances, with a new show, Contemporary Dance, coming to the stage here in Paris. He joins us now via video link to tell us more. Hofesh, thanks so much for being with us today.
Sure, a pleasure.
Now, your latest show here in Paris has an enigmatic title. It's called Contemporary Dance, but we do know that it involves dancers from the Gothenburg Opera Dance Company. So tell us, is this your definition of contemporary dance? What is that?
I like poking the bear a little bit. It's my way of questioning together with the audience what is contemporary dance, and putting on stage different options to make us ask questions. I like when the audience comes to see my shows, I like to not present answers, but make sure that they're living riddled. So that's the point of this show, is to make people question together with me, what are we doing here actually?
It's definitely participative, I must say. Well, let's get a look at those ideas in action. This is a preview of Hofesh Shechter's Contemporary Dance. Now, that piece is being performed at La Villette here in Paris, known for its contemporary dance performances. And another institution here in the French capital that's also a fan of your work is the Paris Opera. They recently introduced your pieces, Uprising and In Your Rooms, into their repertoire. They'd already brought in your choreography, The Art of Not Looking Back. Let's first get a reminder of a recent production of Uprising on that very stage of the Opéra Garnier. Now, Hofesh, there's an aggressive, disquieting energy to those two companion pieces that feels almost political. Can you tell us a bit about the inspiration for these creations?
There is also a playfulness to both pieces. I'm trying to balance the energies. I know that my work is seen as political a lot because of where I'm from. For me, my work is really about people and about, the emotions that human beings are going through, being oppressed by big organization, political structures, and so on. There is something that can be a little bit depressing about the work, and at the same time, it's about the human spirit that is fighting through these difficulties of being oppressed by higher powers. So this is really the thing that interests me, is not actually the political aspect, but the human aspect of the thing. How do we still find a force of life underneath all these difficulties that are put upon us?
Now, just in terms of aesthetics, the Paris Opera is known as the home of classical dance, a very formal institution. Did you expect a place like that to embrace your work so warmly?
The short answer is no. and the really good news is that they really did. They embraced it. The dancers, I have to say, were amazing. I had such a beautiful experience with them, with the team, the technical team. There was a real love to the work. They really wanted to make it happen and make it work. And for me, the amazing thing is that they preserved the heart of the work. That it wasn't just a technical performance. There was something where audience went and saw it and really experienced, things the way I meant them. And this is really hats off to the dancers in this organization to really, bend backwards, quite literally in so many ways, and make it happen in such a powerful way. It was really amazing.
And your work has had another platform here in France recently, and that's on the big screen in Cédric Klapiche's film Anka, or Rise, in its international title. Now, that film follows protagonist Elise as an injury throws her career as a ballet dancer into question, and it forces her to explore other avenues. A certain Hofesh Shechter plays the role of a celebrated choreographer, but I should point out that you are also responsible for the choreography, which is a huge part of the film's appeal and its success. And one of the major ideas that the film raises is a so-called opposition between the cerebral arts, like literature, and the more physically expressive arts, like dance. There's even the suggestion that one artistic language is superior to the other. Can you tell us why the body can work as well as words when it comes to relaying a message?
Well, it's a funny one because I think words and music, movement, dance, they almost work on different parts of your brain. I always felt in dance it's very difficult to mix language and words when you sit and watch dance. It's not like I tell my children, it's not a competition. You can enjoy the art of poetry, literature, theater, and words in a way that is very powerful. And it's just a very different thing. I think what happens a lot is that people connect the work of dance in theater to theater, to spoken word theater. And actually for me, dance is connected much more to music. It's like a concert. It's a place where you sit and experience things in a very physical, very emotional, sensual way. You shouldn't try to understand when you're watching dance. You should only try to connect to it and see what you're sensing in your body. It's just a very powerful, very mysterious thing. In a way, very difficult to talk about it. But I'm happy that all these art forms exist. I wouldn't want to cancel neither. So
no, and as you mentioned, we see a synergy of all of those things, theatre, music, and dance, in that film. And as a dancer yourself, I know that you act when you're performing in front of a live audience, but it is a bit different being filmed for the cinema. How did you find being in front of the camera?
Challenging. It was really tricky. And I don't know, the mind games that are going on when you're acting are many. And to try to act natural, to just be yourself, that's another level of a mirror within a mirror within a mirror. How do I say hi when I say it normally, when I'm just being myself? But I really loved the challenge. I think it was really interesting. There are similarities to being a dancer. Because like you said, when you dance, you're sort of like in a, it's not a real situation, but you're trying to connect to real emotions, to real sensations, to things that are honest for you. And it's the same when you're acting. It's just happening with words, which again, like I said, it's kind of like happening in a different place in the brain. I found it fascinating. I loved it. I'll do it again. It was hard, but yeah, it was really fun.
Okay, well, we look forward to that. But in this film, one thing I noticed, as you play a dance troupe director creating and rehearsing with his team, of course, you have an artistic, visionary role. But what's interesting is that you also have quite a nurturing parental role, even with your team. How much do you think those personality traits are an important part, a prerequisite of the job?
Oh, I think it's really important. I'm working with human beings, with bodies. This is the matter I create with, and I want to connect with them. I want them to be connected to the ideas and the feelings that I'm working on. This is not, it's not an army. It's not people just executing the stuff that they're being told. This is, like we spoke before, this is people that have to connect the emotions in the most honest and sincere way. Because the work in the end of the day is the dancers, and if they don't feel it, we don't feel it, so they have to really connect to it and feel it. So for me, connecting with the dancers in a very human way is one of the most important things for me.
Indeed, outside of the rehearsal room even, yeah. And
yeah, for sure.
finally, we asked you for a cultural tip, something that's on your radar at the moment, and you recommended the Broadway production of Slave Play by Jeremy O. Harris. Tell us why.
I mean, it's very rare to go and see something that really, or for me, that really blows my mind. And I can say it as something that really changed my way of thinking. It's too complicated to go now in detail to exactly why. But what Jeremy is doing there is just a work of genius, surprising, upsetting, really makes you think. Again, he's doing something that I like that artists are doing. He puts a seriously difficult issue, the issue of race and racism embedded inside society, and he does not give us the answer, but he cracks open the question so violently in a way that leaves you wondering and thinking and worrying and hoping and losing hope, and it's just incredible.
And asks the audience to engage with it, just like your work. Hofesh Shechter, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll wrap up with a little of the Broadway performance of Slave Play. Do remember you can get more arts and culture on our website. We're on social media too. There's more news coming up on France 24 just after this.